Were You Ever a Child? By Floyd Dell. Chapter 10. Employer versus Trade Unionist. It was the American businessman who proposed the first practical reform, and if you have any doubt of the validity of the caste theory, note what happened. The American businessman knew that these millions of youths were going to enter his shops and factories. They were not going to be members of a leisure class. They were going to be wage slaves. And so he proposed to educate them to be efficient wage slaves. And he might have succeeded in imposing his capitalistic version of the caste theory of education upon our public schools, had it not been for the trade unions who perceived in these capitalist plans a means of breaking down their own apprentice system. What? Turn the schools into training schools for strike breakers? No, they said, and they bitterly opposed every attempt to introduce industrial training into the schools and muster to their aid the old notions of the magic of books. Let the children have an education, meaning book learning. It'll be time enough for them to learn to work when they leave school, was the general verdict. And so, in this clash of economic interests, one theory warred with another, and the theory of education as a mysterious communion with the magic of books happily won. Happily, for though the controversy had its unfortunate results in the fixing of a prejudice in the minds of the working people against industrial education, we should not fail to realize in that controversy the trade unions were right. We do not want to educate the children of the poor in this 20th century to be a human subspecies. It would be better to give them fragments of a leisure class education than fix them into the wage slave mold. It would be better that they learn Greek and Latin, or, for that matter, Sanskrit, than merely a trade. It would be better to turn them out as they came in, helpless and ignorant, than to make them into efficient machines. But such a choice is not necessary. It is possible to have an education which produces human beings who are neither out of touch with their age nor hopelessly confined within it, a generation which will be the masters and not the slaves of its environment. The outlines of such an educational system were already being drawn in theory and even experimentally in fact. But these radical proposals threaten to cost more money than governments are accustomed to expend on peaceful and constructive enterprises. Yet something had to be done in response to a popular sense of the imperfections of our system. Something was done accordingly.